Hey guys, welcome to Carnivorous Plants Hub. Today I'm going to be giving you an update on my Nepenthes Ventrata here that I got, I don't know, probably 8-9 months ago from Lowe's. Well, probably not that long. It's probably, yeah, I guess it is probably 8-9 months ago. But I'm going to be giving you an update today. We're also going to be repotting this plant. We're going to be getting rid of this little basil shoot off right there. We're going to be cutting that off, and then we're going to be repotting this guy into a little bit better substrate, some long fiber sphagnum moss over there, into that there planter. Real quick guys though, before we jump into that, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel. Those things are incredibly helpful to me. They're supporting my dream in one day opening a carnivorous plant nursery. Everything I'm doing here is in preparation to practice and prepare for that. So thank you for support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, watching, all that. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate you. So let's go ahead and jump on repotting this plant. So real quick guys, if you keep up with my updates, you're probably going to notice really quickly that this plant has taken a bit of a turn for the worse. This is by far the worst that this plant has looked. I've never really had any brown on my leaves. I've never really had any pictures look as bad as some of these do. Now that's also because some of these are just dying from old age, but I've had a couple of pictures that have just kind of popped up that are really tiny and soft. Like that one there, that's a really mature picture that's just kind of come in recently, and it's really, really small, significantly smaller than the others. And I've had some browning on the leaves, like you can see this one here. There's some browning, this one over here. This one here is another fairly new picture. You can see that little tiny guy there, but you can see that there's a lot of brown on his leaf. Now the one thing that does give me some hope is I do have some new growth coming out the top here. That looks really healthy. And then also my most recent picture here is actually going to probably be my biggest one. You can see there's my hand there. So you can see that's actually a really, really nice size picture, and it's not done growing, and it's just kind of unfolding, and that one's really, really healthy. So that tells me that the plant still has a lot of good health in it, and that we just might need to change some things up. And I think with my research, one of the things that people mention is that there could be some critters attacking this plant. I have looked really close. I looked with a magnifying glass. I'm not able to find anything in here that's moving or anything that looks like eggs. But what I think the biggest issue is, and I think is probably the problem, is that it just needs to be repotted. First of all, it's not in the best substrate for it. It's in a peat moss and silica sand and perlite mix, which is fine for Nepenthes. It'll work, but it's not the best. And what's happened, this has gotten really compact, and I don't think that the roots are getting the water that they need because of how compact that this whole substrate has got. So I really think that the way to resolve this issue with this plant is probably to get it in some long fiber sphagnum moss over there, especially around the root system, to get it so we can get water to the roots again, to make sure that this plant can survive. So I really, really love this plant. I've grown it since it was just itty bitty tiny, and it's always kind of been special to me. So I really, really want to make sure that this plant gets taken care of and it can continue. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I am going to throw my camera on the tripod, and I'm going to use the substrate here to repot it. I'm going to line the bottom of this planter with some sphagnum moss, and then, or I'm sorry, with some peat moss, and then I'm going to plant it in this guy here. I have a link in the description. This is a really cool hanging planter. It's got kind of a marble finish. If you guys like that, there's a 2-pack that you can get on Amazon for like 20 bucks, I think it was. It's not too expensive. Really, really nice planter, and I'm excited to get it in there. That's the other thing too, is this guy's never hung, and it's definitely outgrown this little white pot that I have it in. So not only is it outgrown its pot, but it's also, I think it's having a hard time getting water to the roots like it really should. So, all right guys, I'm gonna throw this on the tripod and let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I have the pot here. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. These guys have been outside, and they have been catching yellow jackets. I doubt that you can see that. You might be able to. If I get a little bit closer, you can see that there's yellow jackets down there. This one's actually been doing a lot of work. I don't know. Let's see if you can see that. You see yellow jackets down there, guys? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to show up, but they've been doing a lot of work catching yellow jackets, and all of these are actually pretty full of liquids, so I'm going to try really hard not to spill any of that. If I do, it is what it is. It's not that big of a deal, but you can see that the roots are actually coming out the bottom here. So this thing is definitely ready to be repotted. I actually didn't realize that the root was coming down that far until I removed the bottom part of this. But so let's go ahead and pull this guy off, or get it out of the substrate. This is going to be tricky because this is a harder plastic. So I'm going to have to dig in here a little bit in order to get down. I'll make sure that I keep it in here so you guys can see. Probably better to see this side. I'm also going to cut this off, but then actually I'm just going to see if I can grab my scissors real quick. I should have grabbed my nippers because I'm going to have to cut that basil shoot off. So but let me cut this guy real quick here. Let's get this leaf off. This is pretty much dead. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and start digging this out. I think I'm going to pull my bag here real quick so I make significantly less of a mess. I'm going to try to hand everything there so I can try to get this all out in one. There we go, that's what I want. That's what I want. Okay, put this down. Alright, oh, you know what, I should have had a... I'm going to try to do this without getting these pitchers full of dirt. Okay, let's go ahead and start breaking off. That's not what I wanted. Okay. I really should have a... Alright, I'm back. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and I'm used to pulling these off with sphagnum moss. This is a mix of peat moss. So this is one of the benefits of actually planting with peat moss is now we'll be able to dip this in the water, and this is going to be much easier to get this substrate disconnected from these roots, from this root system. So let's go ahead and we're going to soak this guy, and we're going to start getting all of this, probably not all of it, but as much of this substrate off as we can. Let's see where we're at here. There we go. Look at that. Look at that root system, guys. That's nice. Look at all those roots. Let's keep dipping this here. The more we dip this in here, the more that this... Okay, guys. So here we go. So take a look at that. I'm having a hard time getting the all the perlite off, which is fine. It's okay if we leave a little bit of this substrate. This peat moss mix really isn't bad for it. We just wanted to get it out of that compact situation to make sure that these roots have a little more freedom. So what we're going to actually do now is I'm going to go ahead and lift this plant up here. Oops. And then I'm going to wrap this guy. Actually, I wanted to get this basil shoot off. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to go grab my nippers. Okay, guys, I got my Kinep trimmers. These are a really nice little pair of trimmers. I got these on Amazon too for like 12-13 bucks. A link is in the description for that too if that's something that you're interested in. So what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to cut off this little basil shoot. Now, this is usually a little bit smaller than I like to do for these basil shoots. I would usually let this grow a little bit more. I do have a different video where I'm cutting some basil shoots off of a much larger plant. But this will kind of suck the life out of this main plant, and as you guys can see, this plant is not in the greatest health right now. So I'm gonna actually cut this off right now, and I'm gonna repot this in its own little pot and hope that it does well. But oftentimes when they're this small, they don't actually come out of it. So I'm gonna do my best and I'm gonna give it a try, but we'll see. So what you want to do is you want to make sure and you want to cut this guy off as close to the main stem as you can get. So we're gonna cut him right there off of that main stem, and then what you do is you soak this guy in sphagnum moss and you hope that some roots take from right here, and you hope that that kind of happens before the plant dies. It usually takes a month or two for those roots to really start to take, but I just couldn't risk it with this plant. But we'll go ahead and give this guy a little home. I'll do that here when we're done. I'll set him over there for now. So now what we're gonna do, guys, is we have a lot of the substrate off. This guy is ready to go in. I already have some peat moss in the base of this to kind of help give me a little bit of filler, and then also to give it a little bit of weight in the bottom. So let's go ahead and start wrapping this guy up with sphagnum moss. So what you want to do is you want to take your sphagnum moss, okay, and you want to start right at the top there. You want to start just wrapping this guy up. Get all your roots wrapped up as well as you can. And this is actually going to turn into kind of a big ball here before we actually put it down into the pot. I like to try to get as much on here as I can before I actually put it into the planter, so that there's a lot less kind of filling around. And I'm going to have to get more sphagnum moss here because this, obviously, as you can see, this just isn't going to be quite enough. So let's go ahead and let's move this guy over here. Let's get this in the pot. Now that we have this all wrapped up, I'm going to put the pot right here, the planter. I'm sorry if you guys couldn't see that. I hope that you could. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just get the pitchers on the outside here so that they don't get buried as best we can. Uh-oh, what's going on over here? Oh, it got wrapped up in a... There we go. Pitchers take a little bit of a beating. That one got a little bit of substrate in it. That's okay though. Okay, we're gonna go here, get this one out. That there. I think we got all the pitch. Oh, there's one more here. I probably need to cut that one off anyway. So let's go ahead and get this guy down in the pot now. Here we go. So now the last thing to kind of do now is to just fill this in with the sphagnum moss. So I'm actually gonna fill it in a little bit more with peat moss and perlite mix. The important thing is to make sure that at least the roots of this plant are in the long fiber sphagnum moss, and then you can kind of fill in around it. And then I'm going to get this filled up just a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the rest of it up with the long fiber sphagnum moss. So here, do another handful or two. Oh, I'm making such a mess. Go. Maybe one more handful here over on this side. Go there. So that's got a nice base in it. Now let's go ahead and finish filling this up with some more moss. I'm gonna have to actually water in here, so this stuff is just gonna kind of lap up all that water. As you can see, it's nice and full of water. It's kind of like a sponge, really. Okay, now we're gonna take it out. We're going to start filling this guy in. Nice chunk there. Nice chunk over here. Go. Right there. There we go. We almost got it here. Lift this one up. A little bit more over there. A little bit more. There we go. And probably a little more over here. Right there. Okay, so this one took a little bit of a bath in the dirt. So let's get some of that off here. There we go. All right, let's see if we can. Okay, and there we go, guys. It's hanging now. There we go. It'll have to get kind of used to hanging in this direction, and hopefully this plant makes a recovery. You can see a lot of these leaves are really brown. I need to probably trim some of these leaves off. But hopefully now that we've got this planted in the new media, the new substrate here, it'll actually start doing a little bit better. This is one of my favorite plants, and it would just devastate me if for some reason that the plant didn't make it. So you see this picture here took a little bit of a bath in the dirt, which is fine, that won't hurt it. But so there we go, guys. So there is my Nepenthes Ventrata has been completely repotted, and we're gonna get this one hung up here somewhere. I'm not sure where yet, running out of room for plants, but we will definitely find a place for it. Again, guys, thanks so much for being here. Subscribe to the channel, like my video. Thank you so much for supporting me. Let's all root for this plant. Let's send it some good karma. and have some happy thoughts and hope that it makes a full recovery from whatever the heck's been going on with it. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye.